Hi, this is Andrea, and in this week's video, we're going to talk about the healing crisis. Sounds terrible, doesn't it? I actually don't call it that anymore. Back in the day when I first learned Reiki, that term was used. I now call it detoxing or a healing reaction. I think those terms are much better descriptors and certainly less dramatic. If you're a practitioner who doesn't feel well after giving Reiki, then I'll link a video up here and you can watch that for yourself. Today we're going to talk about from the client's perspective. What happens when they have symptoms, which can include things like exhaustion, headache, dizziness, stomachache, nausea, and extreme emotions, perhaps crying, crabbiness, and anger. Please understand, it's not really very common for people to have that sort of reaction to Reiki, but it is possible. Above all, Reiki can't do harm, so what's this all about? I'm going to talk about that for a few minutes, and I'm also going to share a couple of stories to illustrate how I've seen this unfold in my own Reiki practice. Almost all the time, my clients have positive experiences in the session and after the session, and they'll often feel lighter, less burdened, have new perspectives on their lives, feel peaceful, calm, relaxed, and the list really goes on and on. But in this video, we're going to talk about those few exceptions where the person has those symptoms that I mentioned a minute ago. What's really happening is a good thing. And I just want to bring your attention to what the powerful nature of Reiki is doing in a session. And we have energy pathways in and around the body, and I talk about that in previous videos. But after years and years of our programming into our energy field, the movement of that energy can be quite ingrained. I mean, think about it almost like as a rut, and our energy just keeps going the same way over and over, year after year. And when a person comes for Reiki, they are in for a jolt perhaps, because the Reiki works with them on very deep levels. Remember, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual levels. The Reiki will work with them and actually change the pathways of their life force energy for their highest good. It's always for their highest good, but the change can be dramatic. This also can happen in a Reiki class when the student undergoes the tuning in to the frequency of Reiki in order to be able to offer it to others. And so sometimes these same symptoms can happen when a person is learning Reiki as well. So it's important to note that if you have an interest in Reiki training. But the good news is this process, this Reiki process, is always beneficial. And what it is doing, it is releasing so much that a person undergoing this has perhaps gotten blocked up in their energy system. Maybe they have traumas, they have things that they've held on to. It could be emotional. And the beauty, the magic of Reiki is that without even talking about those things, these deep-seated energetic interferences can be released, can be changed, can be transformed in a session. And that is deep work. And what we end up seeing in these few cases where these unpleasant symptoms arise is that that person has undergone a great shift, a great energetic shift that helps lay a new foundation for how they operate within their life, within their mind and emotions. So even though physically and mentally and emotionally, a person undergoing a healing reaction might feel poorly, that adjustment period where they're getting used to their energy moving in a new and healthier way is short-lived. It doesn't last. It might last a few minutes, a few hours, it might last a couple of days. But it is very normal for a person to undergo this detoxing process after Reiki. The advice for someone going through a reaction like this is to take it easy. Number one, drink lots of pure, clean water to help flush away any toxins that have been released into the body. You know, it's just similar to massage. If you've gone for a massage, they'll tell you drink a lot of water. So it's similar in Reiki. Drink a lot of nice, clean water. Get rest. Listen to your body. If you're not feeling well, the body is telling you to take it easy. So listen to your own body's wisdom and just lay low for a while. You might want to go to bed really early. You might want to take a long hot bath. Whatever that is, whatever's coming into mind to do to help yourself, then please do that. If you're ever worried about your symptoms after a Reiki session, call, text, email, get in touch with your Reiki practitioner and see what they have to say, any advice they have to give you. And it's good to keep that dialogue open. I have seen in a couple of cases how Reiki helped bring a serious condition to the surface, and by having that person aware of it, led them to the proper medical treatment and the best outcome, because had they waited and not known about it, things could have been much worse. That's just another way Reiki can guide us. So it's important to be aware after a Reiki session and just listen and tune in to your body. Because Reiki works on all levels, detoxing or a healing reaction can take place on any of those levels. And I'll give you a couple of examples from my own practice. I had a new client come in, and she later reported to me that after the session, she went home and she was so crabby to her family. She knew she was being very mean and unpleasant to be around. She could feel it, she was aware of it, she knew it, but it was as though she was powerless to change it. She just was very nasty. So it continued that night, and actually it continued for a couple of days. But then she said something really interesting happened. She felt this sort of a lifting out of her, and it was palpable and real. And she felt this lifting out of her, and she felt so much happier. She felt lighter. All of that crud that she was spewing out to her family those couple of days, it was like all of that lifted out and it was gone from her. And then she realized her feelings toward her husband had completely shifted. And she remembered a time when they were very young and how she felt about him then. And she looked at this man, her husband of 20 some odd years, with new eyes, fed by an emotional connection that she had long since forgotten. And it was that reconnection that she felt to him that fueled their relationship moving forward. She didn't come to me and ask for help with her relationship or anything like that, but as always, Reiki helps for your highest good, and it helped her in ways that were completely unknown to me at the time. Another example that comes to my mind is a woman that came in, and after the session she went home and started to feel a bit down and depressed. She knew that that was a possibility after a Reiki session or any kind of energy work, and so she didn't judge it too much and just was patient. And the next day she woke up and she said she had felt better upon waking up than she had in years. An example of what I mentioned earlier about Reiki bringing serious issues to the surface so that they could be addressed medically takes me back to a beautiful dog that I worked with many years ago. And I worked with this dog and offered Reiki, and everything was fine. You know, nothing really came up during the session. And the woman took her dog home, and she contacted me later and said that ever since they had gotten home, the dog was salivating, slobbering, and would not stop. And it had been a few hours, I believe, at that time, and she started to get alarmed, and that's why she called me. And I told her, you know, if you're worried about this, if this is out of the ordinary and you're concerned, then please bring her back, have her seen by the vet. So she did that, and upon examination, the veterinarian found that this dog had a cancerous lesion just underneath her tongue. And I believe that that Reiki energy worked with the animal's body to bring attention to that area so it would be investigated. The good news is that this dog turned out to be all right because of the early intervention. They removed the lesion without much difficulty because it was so early. Who knows how long it would have had to grow before it would have been noticed by some other way. So in summary, if you're a Reiki practitioner and people are having healing reactions after your sessions, it's okay. You're doing everything right because you remember Reiki can do no harm. So keep on offering Reiki and believing in Reiki. Don't let that rattle your confidence at all as a practitioner. You know, a healing crisis, as we used to call it, is perfectly normal and natural as the body recalibrates to function better on all levels. It's just a little bit of an adjustment period. And if you've had a healing reaction, it's all right. Just tune in, listen to your body, take it easy, drink more water, and relax, knowing that you're undergoing a process of cleansing, replenishing, and resetting to operating on a better, calmer, and higher vibrational level. And finally, I love this whole subject because it really underscores the reality that our energy is real, and the way that our energy is flowing in and around our bodies has a direct impact on us physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So a healing reaction is just further evidence that Reiki is working in its own gentle yet powerful way. If you have any more questions about this topic, please leave it in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I wish you the highest blessings today and every day.